What's up, everybody? Trinity Gamer 33 here today, and I am going to be bringing you a video in which we talk about some different plot points in Avengers Endgame that could be going on in the future, or just some questions that we had from Endgame. And it's just basically the top 5 questions we had of different plot points that we could see going forward for the Marvel Universe. So I'd just like to start off by saying this: there will be spoilers in this video from Avengers Endgame, huge plot points. So if you do not want to be spoiled and you haven't seen the movie yet, then click off now. This is your final warning, because I will be diving deep into a lot of the different spoilers from the movie. So without further ado, let's begin. So first, we'll start with a little bit of a sad one, and this involves what happens to Black Widow. As in Avengers Endgame, she sacrificed herself to be able to get the Soul Stone to Clint Barton or Hawkeye or Ronan or whatever you want to call him, because their friendship was so tight-knit and they didn't want to lose each other, but she ended up being the one that sacrificed herself, even though Clint did not want that to happen. So the question is, with her prequel coming out, how will that play into the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Will they be showing how she interacted with, different heroes that could be coming about way before we even met the Avengers? Or how is this going to go about, and what is her origin story going to really do to progress the Marvel Cinematic Universe? So at the end of Endgame, we saw Fat Thor, or Lebowski, or whatever you want to refer to him as, go onto the Guardian's ship, and he comes on and he says, "Oh, the Asgardians of the galaxy back together again." So this is obviously a plot point that could be going forward, in which Thor joins the Guardians of the Galaxy for maybe their third movie, or there's been talks of a Thor 4. Will the Guardians be involved in that? How is this going to play out ultimately? But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So obviously at the beginning of Infinity War, we saw Loki killed off by Thanos, and everybody was questioning, would he return? Was it just a ploy? Did he fake his death? Well, in Avengers Endgame, we actually see Loki in the past from the first Avengers movie get away with the Tesseract because our heroes meddled with time, and he was able to zip out of there. So the question is, will that create an alternate timeline in moving forward and making Loki a villain again? So in Avengers Endgame, we obviously saw the use of the quantum realm and being able to time travel, and so our heroes could go back and gather all the Infinity Stones to be able to use their own gauntlet. And that begs the question, when we saw Bruce Banner go up and approach the Ancient One in New York about the Time Stone, she said that this was not going to be a good idea, because when you pluck one of the Infinity Stones from the reality or that timeline, then it creates a separate timeline in which she had like a little glowing stream, and then she shot off a black one, which referred to an alternate timeline. So this begs the question, will these alternate timelines come about in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now that we know about them and time travel has been explored? Could Loki, like I mentioned before, escaping with the Tesseract at that point in time in New York, could that create an alternate timeline? Could Cap going back create an alternate timeline? What will it be moving forward ultimately for the Marvel Cinematic Universe involving timelines? All right, big spoilers right here. So if you definitely don't want to know anything, and you've kind of already heard enough, then click off now. But in Avengers Endgame, we saw Black Widow sacrifice herself for the Soul Stone. We saw Tony Stark end up snapping his fingers with the Infinity Gauntlet completed, and it ended up killing him at the end of the Avengers Endgame. And we saw Captain America use the time machine to go back and be able to live his life with Peggy after returning all the Infinity Stones. So that begs the question. That's 4 of the 6 Avengers. Now, what about Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, or now Professor Hulk, and Hawkeye, aka Ronan? where does that leave them, and where will they be going forward? It's obviously speculated that Hawkeye will just return to his family and that it'll just go that way and we won't really see him again. But people have talked about how Mark Ruffalo actually still has a contract with Marvel and Disney. So will he ultimately return and reprise his role as Professor Hulk? We didn't get to see him fight a lot necessarily as Professor Hulk in Endgame, but we want to see more development from that character for sure, even though this was more or less the conclusion of his story arc. Now, what will they do with him in the future? Will he be kind of a team leader to the new Avengers, or how will this go about? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like and a comment. Subscribe to me at TrinityGamer333, and until next time, I will see you guys later.